Good morning everyone, welcome back to Alleyways, or if it's your first time here, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and if you haven't already, please make sure to join the Alleyways family. Subscribe to my channel, give this video a big thumbs up, and turn on post notifications, not only so you know when I have new content, but also so I can include you in my subscriber shout out. I am going to be shouting out a very special subscriber at the end of today's video, so make sure you stay tuned until the end in case that's you. Okay, it is day 2 in Asheville, our first full day here, and today we are going to the Biltmore. I am so excited. This is something I wanted to do pretty much my entire life. I love history and I love like getting to see incredible gardens. My mom has an amazing garden at home, and I think ever since I was young, her having that has made me really interested in it, so I'm so excited. We have a reservation for a guided audio tour at 11:15 and it's about 8 now, so I'm gonna go get ready so we have plenty of time to go out and get coffee and breakfast. So let's go get ready in 3, 2, and 1, and just like that, we are all ready for our day. I am wearing a top from Pink Lily, a skirt from Shein, and my Disney Walmart tennis shoes because we are going to be doing a lot of walking. We're supposed to be there 45 minutes before our scheduled arrival, so we are about to head out now, so let's go. We're on our way to Biltmore. We passed this yesterday and I just think it looks so cool. It looks like a little castle. Sorry, I know the light's probably not that great, but how cool is that? So while we're on the way, I did not sleep well last night. We were both feeling really tired, so we did go get coffee this morning first thing. Oops, I need to buckle up. And our room was really hot, even though we set the room on 67 degrees. And then the sheets that we had on our bed were actually pilling. So they were really scratchy because they had lots of little places that were pilling. And so, yeah, and the air was really loud, shutting on and off, and then it got hot. So it's not the best night of sleep, but I bet we'll sleep better tonight, but I'll keep you updated on that. I did use the shower, and the shower was great, and the hairdryer was good also. So that's really good. There's all these really cute little houses on the road up to the Omni. Look how beautiful this is too. The Bohemian Hotel.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Pretty. So we just got here. We're at the entrance to the Biltmore.
Just park anywhere?
I'm not sure. We're gonna find out. It says proceed through gate. If you're like us and you're coming to the Biltmore, the address you want to put into your GPS to get here and to be in the correct place to park and for entrance is 1 Lodge Street, Asheville, North Carolina, and the zip code is 28803. So I'll put that up here and in the description box as well. I think that's helpful because there's lots of Biltmore addresses and I think it'd be easy to get lost, but we're driving in now and it is really beautiful. They just pulled up. You can see there's some traffic.
Oh, look at the geese.
To get in. Ooh, yeah, look, geese all around. The land around here is gorgeous. Thank you, Monroe. Wow, so beautiful. So now we're just waiting in this line to get in. But if you use that address, it really should be helpful. I'll keep you updated with what we have to do next. And then any other kind of like COVID specific instructions. There are instructions online that they'll email to you about the restrictions as far as like the size of bag you can bring in. So I just have like a small purse with me. We both have masks and are ready, and then I'll let you know about the rules for filming too. Okay, so we purchased our tickets ahead of time online, and we were sitting in the left-hand lane when you come in. If you already purchased tickets, they said you can get in the right-hand lane, which is much shorter. So now we kind of cut around that side and are going in here, and we have our tickets added to our Apple Wallet ready to go. So we have not waited long in this line. I bet we haven't even been here 5 minutes, so it's pretty quick. Through, and they'll scan your tickets off your phone, and then you go to the left and follow the signs for Biltmore House and Garden. I'm starting to see why they require like 45-minute lead time before your scheduled tour. So ours is 11:15. It's currently 10:23. So I'll let you know what we do from here, but this is amazing. Okay, so we just did the drive up to the parking lot. It is a 3-mile drive. It's called 3 Mile Approach is the name of the road. And now we're at parking lot C. So we're gonna find a space, try and find a shady spot for the day, and then you take a shuttle from here to the house. So I see one shuttle here right now. It's actually really cute. I'll show you all that in a minute. But I hope all of this is helpful because it's kind of a lot to figure out. So I hope this makes your trip easier. Let's go get on the shuttle. So here are the shuttles. You can see there's little places where you can wait, but there's 2 actually waiting here right now. So we're gonna put our masks on and go get on one. Thank you. All right, we just got here. Look how incredible. So beautiful. We're so excited to get in. We're gonna look for Monroe a snack. Yes, so right now, if you are fully vaccinated, the only place you do have to wear a mask is on one of the shuttles. We are both fully vaccinated and have our cards, but we will see now with cases on the rise kind of what happens. So, but I'm so excited. You come in and go to the right. There is the dairy bar. There's a stable cafe, a courtyard market, and a bake shop. We heard a lot of good things about the bake shop. We're going in this way to try and go to the stable cafe because we still have 30 minutes before our tour. Once you come in here, there is the stable cafe there, the toy maker shop, a Christmas shop, which I'm definitely going to go into. And then this way, there is the confectionery, the carriage house shop, the bookbinder shop, and the restrooms. So if you need to go to the restroom when you first get in here, just go straight to the right when you get off the bus, and it'll be right here. I'm gonna go poke around a little bit and see what there is to see. Oh my gosh, look at this Christmas shop. This gives me such a feeling. Such a feeling. There's like ornaments personalized with names. There's decorations over here, like really pretty home decorations. More ornaments here. I'd love to have like a souvenir ornament. That's what I collect whenever I go. Yeah, more kind of Christmas merchandise. They've got Christmas Dooney and Burke bags here. Beautiful ornaments here. Really pretty. I'm gonna try and find a Biltmore ornament though if I can. We came over to the dairy bar to get Monroe some more coffee. They also, if you look this morning, they have a pastry of the day, signature roast coffee, and then bottled water that you can pick from. So we'll see what the pastry of the day is. Alright, so here is some cool information about the dairy bar. It was an extension of the estate's dairy operations that was established in 1897 as a vision of Biltmore's self-sustaining farm. They had a prize herd of Jersey cows, and they made milk, butter, and ice cream for residents of North Carolina. And today, the dairy bar honors that tradition with vanilla ice cream based on an original Biltmore recipe. Very cool. Monroe got the cinnamon roll, and he said it's good, right?
That's good.
Two thumbs up for the cinnamon roll. Yes, go ahead. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So we just sat out here in this courtyard. It was so beautiful. We got a shady spot over here and enjoyed our pastry and listened to music and just like kind of looked around because this area is just so beautiful. We still have a little bit of time before our tour, so we're going to go out front and walk around, look at the front of the house, and maybe take some photos. Here we are, walking around out front. So beautiful. It's crazy to think that this was residential, that this is somebody like, yeah, I gotta go home, gotta go back home. Or inviting someone over to your house like, yeah, come on over, have dinner. Know what I mean? Crazy. I was just pointing out, look, there's people carved in up there. I'm sure that's specific, kind of like guardians. Cool. Here's the view of the front lawn out, which is also beautiful. Gorgeous. Here, off the side of the house, they have a wisteria arbor, which is like cheekwood in Nashville, and we got married under the wisteria arbor in Nashville. So this is really cool. It's off the left side of the house, cheekwood as well. Here's a beautiful garden off of the wisteria arbor. Looks so gorgeous. We're gonna walk around there later too. Here is a view off of the arbor and the back of the house. And you can see it just goes all the way around. I was noticing all the details. Look, in the dormer, there's cherubs and a V above the window. The detail is amazing. We came over to the side of the house where we were earlier, next to the spiral staircase, because there's this covered area here that we could wait in the shade in. The place where they have you wait out front is not covered, and you get in line, and it's kind of hot today, so we wanted to find some sun until 11:15. We've had plenty of time, but it's been nice to have a little time and explore, and we did take some photos here. We never crushed it, so I'll show you all those now. But now it's about 11:10, so we're gonna wander over that way to see if we can get in line now. All right, so it is now 11:15. We just got in line outside to go into the house. Now, if you're coming when it's hot, some people brought sunbrellas, which is a great idea because you are out here on the pavement where it's hot and very bright, and there's no shade in the line. So consider packing it. So we are getting ready to go inside, and you're not allowed to video in the house. I'll take as many photos as I can and put them up and do a voiceover so you guys can like be there with me, but no video allowed. I'm sure no flash photography, but we're going to go enjoy our time now and try not to melt out here in the sun. Okay, so what I tried to do was just take notes of fun facts or things that I found interesting from the audio tour. The tour begins in this room, and it is called the Winter Garden. There wasn't anything about this in the audio tour, just a welcome message. I've tried to research online to find out more about this room, but I couldn't. I have found it where it's covered in plants, which obviously makes sense because the gorgeous glass dome ceiling would provide a lot of natural sunlight, but it was beautiful. If you know something interesting about it, please share in the comments down below. The first room on the audio tour was the billiards room, and some things I wrote down that I thought were really interesting was that Brunswick manufactured the pool tables, and they each weigh more than a ton, which blew my mind. They were custom made with a special ball receptacle. One has pockets and one did not. That's because they were for different games, and they were custom made to match the oak of the home. And then the string above was used for keeping score of the games, and there's risers in the room so that people could watch. Another thing they shared that I thought was really cool is that women were actually invited to participate in billiards at the Biltmore, which was atypical of the time. All right, next up we went into the banquet hall, which is obviously breathtaking. Some things I wrote down that I thought were really cool was that the dress code for dinner in the banquet hall was whitetails, so very formal. And it also shared that Vanderbilt was single when he moved in at age 32, and he didn't marry until 3 years later, so quite the home for a single young man. The room itself is 70 feet long and 40 feet wide. It's 7 stories tall with perfect acoustics. They had Baccarat crystal with a special Vanderbilt monogram and gold-lined plates. So obviously, dinner was a very fancy affair at the Biltmore. So this next room is one that was never completed in Vanderbilt's lifetime. I thought it was really interesting that there were rooms that were left uncompleted. It was hidden with curtains so that guests wouldn't really wonder about it, to kind of complete the picture of the perfect home. But this is the music room, and this was also never completed in his lifetime, but that doesn't mean it wasn't useful. This room has a crazy story. So during World War II, the National Gallery of Art called on the Biltmore for a favor. So during the winter of 1942, there were American leaders that were afraid of the possibility of an attack like an air raid, and they had received information from European sources that Hitler was really relentlessly seizing and stockpiling art, a lot of which was damaged in the process. So the director of the National Gallery of Art contacted the Biltmore to discuss sending some of the nation's most important artwork and treasures there for safekeeping. The director of the National Gallery of Art had visited and understood all of the really cool kind of fireproof features of the Biltmore, and that, is in a really remote location, which he felt made it the perfect secret hiding place to store over 62 paintings and 17 sculptures. So they fitted the music room with steel doors and a bunch of other protective measures. And then on January 8th in 1942, the paintings and sculptures arrived at the Biltmore. They were put in the music room in steel protective boxes, and they were kept safe there. Edith never charged the National Gallery of Art for storage and safekeeping, which I thought was really, really cool. And it's awesome that the Biltmore played a hand in protecting some of our nation's most precious art. After the National Gallery of Art reclaimed the pieces, the room was later finished. So one of the descendants of the Vanderbilts found the mantle that was originally intended to go in this room boxed up in the stables, and it inspired them to put it back in the room and consult the original architects, and together they drew up the plans and completed this room, and it looks like it does today. Next up, we have George Vanderbilt's personal favorite room in all of the Biltmore, the library. Now, in the library, there are more than 10,000 books, which is incredible enough. But what makes it even more interesting is he personally chose each individual book. That is crazy to me. So I asked the host about the library and what they thought was interesting about the room, and what they shared with me is that the theme of the library is the light or lamp of knowledge. That's why Athena is painted on the ceiling, because she's commonly known as the goddess of knowledge. The theme of the light or lamp of knowledge or enlightenment is also continued in the rest of the paintings. If you look, you can actually find a chicken painted in the ceiling, and a lot of the individuals that are painted look like they're, just being woken up. They're checking their watch, or they're going to work oil lamps. And that is to symbolize the bringing of the day, bringing of the light, bringing of knowledge and enlightenment. This theme is also continued in carvings on the fireplace and on the book return. I thought the book return was really cool. It was for guests, so they could borrow a book during their stay, but put it back on the book return, because apparently the library was meticulously organized. They were kept in a very specific system by George, so everything was put back there so it could be put back in its rightful place. Next up, we went into this room with these gorgeous tapestries. Now, these were 500-year-old tapestries titled Prudence, Faith, and Charity. They would have taken 5 years to plan and 5 years to weave, which is just incredible. There was originally a collection of 7, and 3 are at the Biltmore. Another really cool thing about this room is The Swan was filmed in this room. I personally am a huge fan of Grace Kelly, and I love the movie The Swan. And it was really cool for me to be able to see somewhere that she had worked. And to think about filming in the Biltmore is just incredible. The purpose of this room was really just for entertaining guests. This is where they serve tea. And the host of this room let us know that Vanderbilt built the house to show the things that he collected. And this room was built for the purpose of displaying these tapestries. The Faith tapestry is the only one in the set to still exist in the world. He truly saved these tapestries, and so it was a big deal for them to have them and them to be here and guests to get to see them. So this was a really awesome way to display his collection. Now, all the furniture in this room is still original, and the host said if anything has to be reupholstered or maintenance, they do reach out to the original company that created the furniture to redo it. She also mentioned that whenever guests were here, if it was hot in the summertime, there was no air conditioning. So they would open all these large doors to let in a breeze and to also really enjoy the view. Next, we headed upstairs to this gallery that was reserved for family portraits. This was also the entryway to the family's personal room, so this was a really special space. Something I thought was really cool about this room is that Vanderbilt actually put up a portrait of his architect and his landscape architect in this room to show how much respect he had for them and how much he appreciated the beautiful work they did in creating the Biltmore. Now, his landscape architect was Olmsted, who was a super famous landscape architect who also designed Central Park. So I thought that was really cool, having the landscape architect for Central Park doing all the landscape architect for the Biltmore, and you can totally see it. The landscape architecture here is just amazing. Next up, we went into George Vanderbilt's bedroom, and this bedroom has 400-year-old Baroque style furniture. The tour also mentioned that the bed is on that platform to signify Vanderbilt's elevated status. Now, if you're like me and you're thinking, the furniture looks a little small, the audio tour actually mentioned that. So they said the furniture is actually extremely large, but it looks small because the room is just so big. Next up, we have the couple's private sitting room. This is where they would meet with their housekeeper in the morning to review the day or seating charts for dinner. It's where they spent personal time as a family. They've got portraits of their parents over the fireplace. And the furniture in this room was actually specially commissioned for the Biltmore. They had traveled to a house in England called the Noel, and they noticed the furniture had these hinging arms that they really loved. So they came home and they had copies commissioned for this room specifically. Next up, we went to Mrs. Vanderbilt's bedroom, and the tour said that she actually saw the home for the first time ever after their honeymoon. I mean, what a thing to come home to. So this was her bedroom, and they just talked about how it had feminine touches. They didn't really share much about it. I thought it was beautiful, but they did share a personal fact that Mrs. Vanderbilt knew every single person that worked at the Biltmore, and she was very involved in caring. So she gave baskets to every single employee if they were ever sick or they had a birth, and I thought that that was really cool and special. Next up, we went to the third floor living hall. This was a hall specifically for guests. They would stay in one of 13 rooms, and then they had a living room here. There, they could go and have breakfast at 9 or dinner at 8. They could sit here, talk and relax and read. Now, it did say there were originally 33 guest rooms. Guest room does have a theme and a name. For example, this is the Madonna room, and the Vanderbilts named it that because of the prints that were in there. So the next kind of notable room on the tour was this room, and they call it the Halloween room. And it was originally used for storage, but then the Vanderbilt's daughter held a party here, and she let the guests paint the walls, and it got the name the Halloween room because you can see cats, bats, things that we traditionally associate with Halloween now, and people never really knew why they painted it with bats or cats. And then somebody came to the mansion and mentioned that it was a New Year's Eve gypsy-themed party inspired by a Russian cabaret about the Parade of Tin Soldiers song. So that was the theme of the party. They painted things from the cabaret, but still to this day, it's known as the Halloween room. Up, we have the bowling alley. Now, Brunswick, the manufacturer of the pool tables, also made the bowling alley, and it duplicates the 90-foot length of the tapestry room above it. It was one of the first bowling alleys in a private residence in the US, and it had electricity, but a servant did set the pins and collect the ball. Now, this hallway contains the ladies' changing rooms for the swimming pool. Now, you had to do this because you couldn't walk through the rest of your house in a swimsuit. So you would go into one of these little stalls and a lady's maid would change you to go swimming. And swimming was not as popular at the time. You can see there's ropes on the side that you could hang on to and rest. The pool is not filled anymore because they did have a house party at one time and filled the pool. And then the sub-basement was flooded because of a crack in the pool, so it's never been filled since. Next up was the gym. I thought this room was really cool. There were Indian pins on the wall that were used for exercise. There was a lot of things that were really before their time, and a huge gym for the time. But the most interesting thing was, you can see there was a needle shower, And what the shower did was generate extremely high water pressure. They said it actually really hurt to stand under, but it was beneficial for stimulating blood flow, which was good for health. So to finish the tour, you went through the servants' quarters, and they said that there was a special dining room, a lot like in Downton Abbey, where these people would eat and share meals. One thing I thought was really interesting was that the Biltmore was famous for their milk and ice cream. So they had a room that took brine and ammonia and compressed it to chill a refrigerator to 40 degrees so they could keep dairy products, which was really revolutionary at the time. I also really loved the laundry room. So this is where they washed their clothes. They not only did the clothes here, but the everyday functional items that it took to keep Biltmore running, like the linens. They said that the laundry here was operated on a commercial scale. There was so much generated. And something I thought was really interesting was the linen here was never dried outside. So they actually had these coils here that generated heat and really warmed up the air. So this is kind of like the first internal dryer. This was kind of the end of the tour, where they just shared that they started offering tours of the Biltmore in the 1930s. The family was still living here. The last living resident left in 1958. And they started doing the tours because obviously it was very expensive and they wanted to save the home. All in all, this was an absolutely incredible visit, and I cannot wait to go back again. We just finished our tour. It was incredible. It took us around 2 hours, and we were really taking our time and taking it slow. Now we came into the carriage house shop to get postcards, and you guys, look what they have. They have these really ornate Disney books, the Jungle Book. There's also Beauty and the Beast. I think this is so beautiful. Oh, I love it. So now we're going to find some lunch here and maybe a few more souvenirs, and then I don't know what we're gonna do, but we'll see. Okay, so we got on the trolley and got back to our car, and now we are headed up to Antler Hill to try to find lunch. The food options that we saw this morning get really crowded in the afternoon, and it was really hot and there was not a lot of shady places to sit. So now we are trying our best to find our way up to the winery, and we're going to look around up there, get something to eat, and then I think we're going to go back this afternoon, maybe once the heat's broken a little, and walk around the gardens. But I am hungry. Are you? Yeah. What was your favorite part of the tour?
Probably the dining room.
Yeah, the dining room was beautiful. I also really liked Edith's bedroom. So dreamy. It was all incredible though. The audio guided tour was great. I wish they gave more information, but it was still really, really good. Yes, Minerva just said the library was really cool. The library was amazing. And one thing I wanted to add, the audio tour had about like a minute of information about each room, wouldn't you say? A minute to 2 minutes?
It just depended on the room.
Yeah. And if you wanted more information, there are hosts that work at Vanderbilt standing around the rooms, and you can ask them any kind of questions that you have. And so we just would stop and ask them like, what's something you'd like to share about this room, or any questions, and they were so sweet and so knowledgeable, and that really added to it. So make sure to do that. They're driving, and look at all this corn. So they're farming the land around here, which is interesting. So we came to Cedric's for lunch, and Cedric was a St. Bernard. I'm gonna find out more about him, but we're so excited to sit down in the cool and get some lunch. Okay, so it's gonna be loud in here, but we just sat down to eat lunch at Cedric's Tavern. Cedric was George Vanderbilt's St. Bernard, and there are cool photos of him up all over the restaurant. It is really cute. I'll turn my camera around in a moment to show you all some of the photos of the family with Cedric that are really cool. But for now, I'm going to show you the menu. It's pretty small, but you can scan the online menu, and they do have a kids menu available as well. So have your phone handy, but this is a look at the menu. So over there you can see that's George Vanderbilt, and that is Cedric, which is really cool. And then that is their daughter over there behind the gentleman in the blue t-shirt, standing up in the front lawn with Cedric. And then there's more photos over there. We decided to start with the pretzel rolls. We are on a kick with the pretzel bread here, people. They bring out pickles too, you guys. Oh my god, if you know me, you know I love pickles, so I'm so excited about this. Pretzel bread is delicious. The butter with it is like a spicy Dijon mustard butter, and it's amazing. This all is really, really good. Bro got the shepherd's pie, and I got chicken tenders and fries because I need something to put on my stomach. So let's go eat. We just finished lunch at Cedric's. Here's the outside. You can see it is made to look like an old pub. It's so cute and beautiful. The service was incredible. Our waitress was so sweet. The food was delicious. It was nice and cool. So it's a perfect midday break to come up here and check out the village. The village is all really sweet. I just wanted to show you all this plaque outside. It said, George and Edith Vanderbilt loved pets, with many dogs living in style in Biltmore House over the years, including St. Bernards and Wolfhounds. The most beloved dog was Cedric, a stately St. Bernard who was so admired that the Vanderbilts gave several of his offspring to friends and family. The Vanderbilts' daughter Cornelia continued the family tradition by not only having dogs, but also a parrot named Coco and even a pet skunk. And there's George with Cedric, and probably Cornelia as a little baby with Cedric, which is really cool. I think it's something that's like very humanizing to see a figure from antiquity with their pet, because that's something we can all relate to. So I think that's really neat. Yeah, this village is just so cute. So it's definitely worth driving up here. You can see we've got a little cloud cover now, which is nice. And so we're trying to decide what to do, if we're gonna check out one of the art exhibits up here, or if we're going to try to go back while we have some cloud cover and check out the gardens. So we're gonna go make a plan and then do that now. So we have just been walking around the Biltmore village up here, which is really cute. Here's kind of like the center of the village, and we just went into the family museum, which was so cool. And you want to tell them that one of the coolest things we saw?
Napoleon's chess set.
Yes, so like we said earlier, George Vanderbilt was like a big collector, and one of the things somebody gifted him was Napoleon's chess set. So there's a plaque in there that said that somebody who was present during Napoleon's autopsy and the auction of his personal belongings purchased the chess set, and then somehow it made its way back to be gifted to Vanderbilt. Pretty crazy. But they also had a lot of other cool family artifacts in there. They had some clothing of Edith Vanderbilt's. They had lots of like serving dishes. They had a little kind of, I don't even know how to describe it. It was like a carriage that 4 people carried Cornelia Vanderbilt in to her 21st birthday party on. Very elaborate. It was like, you know, Lady Gaga before, you know, when she did the egg. I mean, Cornelia did it first. So, tons of cool stuff. It's still overcast. I think we're gonna go look at the gardens, but we're both kind of tired and maybe ready to take a nap. We are wiped. We just got back to the car, did the garden tour. We are thirsty and tired and exhausted. So we're getting in a car and then we're gonna figure out what's next. All right, we came back, showered, changed, and are ready for dinner. We did decide we're going to try to go to Rhubarb. We were kind of getting cold feet and thinking of just like staying at the resort and doing something here. We're gonna be adventurous and get out and go to have dinner at Rhubarb in downtown Asheville because we've heard amazing things about it. So we are about to leave and go do that now. We just sat down at Rhubarb. It's really beautiful in here. There's the kitchen over there. And here is a look at the menu. So I'm gonna go slow. And then go make some decisions. All right, so we are going to get the hush puppies to start, and then I'm going to get the Royal Ridge shrimp and tomato bake. I think that sounds so good. And Monroe, did you decide what you're gonna get?
I might get the steak.
He's thinking about getting the sirloin steak, which was the other thing I thought about getting. So we've got good choices on deck. Here are our hush puppies. What kind of butter is this with it?
Sorghum.
Sorghum molasses butter. Let's go try them. Hush puppy is, as Evangeline would say, amazing. They're good even without the butter. They're delicious. They're like piping hot. The green onion in them is really soft and subtle. They're so good. I love hush puppies. So here is my tomato and shrimp bake. It looks amazing. And then Monroe got the steak, which also looks delicious. So I'm gonna go try this. If the hush puppies are any indicator of how good this is going to be, it's gonna be really, really good. We also got the cookies and cream cheesecake. Look how beautiful it is. Really, really beautiful. Not what I was expecting. Way more gourmet. Looks delicious. So we just Ubered back to the hotel, and our Uber driver was from where we live. Like lived right down the street from our house now, which is crazy. But we just got back to the hotel and we came out to the terrace, and it's still really, really beautiful out here. Look. So here's the view. I'm gonna zoom out so you can see mountains in the distance. So we're gonna sit out here and enjoy the view for a while. Okay, we decided to come back to the room and just be lazy and get in bed early. We've been watching a little bit of a documentary and talking to family, but we are going to sign off and we're going to have a full day of relaxation and really enjoy the hotel tomorrow. So come back for day 3. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I really, really appreciate it. Yeah, I love you all so much. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time right here on Alleyways. Bye!